Buying a home in 2023 has its challenges. From soaring interest rates to limited inventory and bidding wars, it can be overwhelming. In this video, I'll cover 4 powerful tips for you to master home buying in 2023. First, we want to focus on budgeting. How much do you want to spend on a home? How much will you need to save? Learn what's true and false when buying a home. It's been said that you need 20% down to buy a home. No exceptions if you're using a conventional loan. Now, that's not necessarily the case. There are many loan programs for different situations. Although with the lack of affordability and trying to lower your monthly payment, the more money you put down will help lower your monthly mortgage bill. There are situations where you can buy a home with as little as 3% down and maybe less depending on what kind of loans your lender offers and what you qualify for, like VA or USDA loans are 0%. However, there are specific requirements to qualify for those loans, like for a VA loan, you have to be a veteran. USDA is for rural properties, and there are also some income restrictions. You can't earn over a certain amount of money. There's also a lot of down payment assistance programs. There are many nuances to these, and it could be hard to qualify for depending on your situation, but this could be a good option for some people. Talking with a lender sooner than later can help you get information to work on your budget. Figure out how much you want your monthly payment to be. When calculating, make sure you're considering things like property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA, condo association fees, and any other fees that might be associated to being a homeowner in your area. It can also be good to budget a certain amount of money you save up each month to go toward home repairs that could come up, and they always come up. Making a list of your monthly expenses can help give you an idea of how much you can comfortably spend on a mortgage payment. Knowing your financial limits and being able to communicate those to your lender is really important in making sure you're setting yourself up for success. When you research what percentage of your home you should spend on your mortgage payment, you can find a wide range of suggestions. It seems like 25 to 28% is the most popular range. Sometimes they'll say 25 to 28% is the gross income. Sometimes they'll say it's your net income. Ultimately, when you're doing your budget, figure out the monthly number that you're comfortable paying on your mortgage. Share that with your lender. Tell them this is the number you want to pay monthly, all in. That includes property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA, PMI, everything associated with your monthly payment of your home. You also want to make sure that the numbers that are used for property taxes, homeowners insurance, and all that is in line with what you'll actually pay for those items. I've seen some lenders put down like $25 for home insurance a month, and that's just not a reality where I live, so just check those numbers. Point 2 is saving for a down payment and closing costs. Once you have your budget, then you'll want to save for your down payment and your closing costs. Most real estate transactions will require you to put a down payment on the home and pay closing costs, which include a range of fees like services related to financing the home and finalizing a real estate sale. The general rule I tell my clients is closing costs are usually around 3 to 6% of the purchase price of your home. This can vary greatly depending on where you live and what fees are in your particular area and for your particular situation. I've seen some people say you should budget anywhere from 2 to 8%. So just ask your lender for a closing cost estimate. This should give you a decent idea of how much closing costs could be. But just know that obviously each situation, it's going to be different. For instance, let's say you're buying a home that has a homeowners association. Sometimes there's a one-time transfer fee. I've seen some that are kind of expensive, like $1,000 or more. So that can really bump up your closing costs. It's a good idea before you put an offer on a home to have your lender run the numbers for that particular home. Make sure your real estate agent provides them with all the pertinent information like HOA transfer fees and things like that. When you're going through your budget, find areas where you can cut costs. I know that that can be really difficult to do nowadays with prices rising on everything, but sometimes when you make an itemized list of all your expenses, you could find some things that you could cut out. This could help you save money for a down payment and also improve your debt to income ratio in some cases. Setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account can be really helpful. Point 3 is improving your credit score. Improving your credit score can maximize your affordability by lowering your interest rate. With rising interest rates, every little bit helps in lowering your interest rates and in turn, adding to how much you can comfortably afford. Let's give you an example of how credit scores can affect your interest rate. Assuming nothing in a mortgage application changes except the credit score, someone with a score in the 680 to 699 range would have a mortgage rate of approximately 0.399 percentage points higher than a person with a 760 or more score. That's a difference that might sound minuscule, right? But it's not. In 20 years, someone with a 680 to 699 score will pay over $20,000 more on interest for a $244,000 mortgage, just as an example, than a person with a higher score. Generally speaking, credit scores of 760 or higher will get you the lowest interest rate. Ultimately, any score in the 700s or above is considered good and will help you qualify for lower interest rates. There are some ways where you can improve your credit score yourself, or you can sign up for one of those services that can help you repair your credit. Sometimes a lender can refer you to a credit repair service, or they may have an in-house credit repair service. Some things you can do to improve your credit score is managing your credit card balance and keeping them below 30% of the limit. You can contact your credit card companies to inquire about raising your credit limits. This will help with your usage percentage. It's also good to pay your bills on time, of course, reduce your overall debt, and going over your credit report in detail to dispute any errors. The last point is becoming a housing expert, or at least working closely with someone who is. Real estate transactions can be complicated and each deal can be different. I think it's important to educate yourself on the real estate process as best you can. I'm not sure if you've ever had to be like in the hospital for a while or have a loved one in the hospital for a while, but you kind of end up being an armchair expert in the medical field. My dad was in the hospital quite a bit when I was in my teens, and so after school I would hang out at the hospital and learned a bunch. I was like an honorary nurse or something. So the same thing when you're buying a house. You want to learn as much as possible. Obviously, you'll use professionals that'll help you, but you're your own advocate. I think it's really important to know the home buying process so you know if something doesn't seem right. I have a free home buying course that goes through the whole real estate process. The link is in the description. One thing I would do is learn the market. Find out what homes are selling for in the area that you're looking at. So I would go to Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever, real estate website you like. Sometimes you can look at local market reports on your local Realtor Association website. There are also sometimes market report videos on YouTube from real estate agents in your area. By preparing and educating yourself about the home buying process, you can have a successful transaction. Check out this video about common home buying mistakes or this home buyer playlist. My contact information is in the description if you have any real estate questions. Thanks for watching until the end, especially if you're a subscriber.